What's cooking, folks? Vermillion Phoenix here, and today I'm jumping into some more Orcs Must Die Unchained. This time, we are going into the weekly challenge for your own devices. Whoa, didn't mean to do that. Let's go ahead and cancel the matchmaking. There we go. Create a game. And we're going into this with Oziel. Got a skin for him, so we're going to use that. Don't have any dyes yet, though. And if you're not familiar with your own devices, basically what they do is they give you 10 times your mana regen and no traps. And you have to fend off your rift for the 6 waves with your guardians and whatever coin and barricading you can muster. So I'm going to show you how I like to set this up, and then we'll move forward from there.
I sense the potential for 1,000 dying words.
All right, so let's make some words die. What we're going to do first is there's 2 locations that we're going to wind up using. This is the second one, so try not to toss your free guardian there yet. That's another thing. Like since the last time I've actually done this, a lot of the mechanics in the game have changed, both for this particular hero and for some of the other ones in the game. So
They will not survive. I will bring my most only when
okay, there we go. Yeah, we can force them into a tighter path. It won't hurt anything. So we basically make a tight path for them to have to follow, and as they get stuck in these corners, we use our AoE abilities, namely the Desecrated Ground or Jarred Souls, whatever you like to refer to them as, but Oziel's third ability, and the Ring of Storms to deal damage. Now, once we clear the first few waves and the other gates open up, we're going to block off the exit from the kitchen and basically fight along this corridor. We're also going to force the enemies over here to have to path around, so we have time to deal with everything that's over here. They'll have to run into this guardian, and then by the time we're done with those, these guys will have pathed around and come back here. And I believe they fixed the pathing bugs that used to exist on this map, because they don't let you place anything out here now. But they used to, and it was hilarious. Kind of caused some interesting hijinks. I think I have an old video of one of those being up, but it's really not that big a deal today. So let's go ahead and get this started.
The enemy has opened a minion portal.
All right, what do we have here? Keep in mind that since we have a huge amount of mana regen, you can kind of just go nuts with Oziel's Wraith Charge, or Wraith Surge. There we go. Normally, you want to be a bit conservative with it, because it's really heavy on your mana. But when your mana is basically being refueled like water, go absolutely nuts with it. Okay, and Oziel's ability to turn his health into mana is also extremely useful. Now, if you want, you can go back here and start setting up some additional pathing. Get that guy set up and do this and this. And then when we come back, we kind of just go through here. And hitting him with the explosions from the lightning is actually super beneficial. Whoa. Why did I get a knock up there after he had already used his knock-up attack? That was weird. I'm not sure if his normal attack knocks up too now, or if there was something else going on. Really odd though. But I'll always try to snipe the heavy enemies before they actually get into any like serious threat range. And that way you can focus on dealing with the majority of the small fry, and you should be good otherwise. These guys are all kind of healthy. Try to Wraith Surge the ones in the back if you can, or you know, lob it at a new enemy once you finish off the one before that or in front of them, and that way you should basically maintain some really efficient damage dealing.
A boss is on its way.
Alright, so summoning these in the middle of actually fighting should give you a tiny advantage, although I'm gonna have an issue here because I believe those are
Barricades are under attack.
kobolds.
They've destroyed our barricades.
Alright, there we go. Those are all dead. The main reason that I goofed there is because we have an Orpheum.
The boss minion has been taken
So
down.
our Orpheum managed to knock out one of my barricades, which really isn't that big of a deal. Or two of them. Alright, a little bit bigger of a deal. But basically, because I have most of this set up already, we have enough coin to do this. Come on. Let it happen. Alright. And then we block here, and that's pretty much all we need. Nobody comes through the kitchen, and
The army is attacking on another front.
we have enough time to sort of murder these guys as they're coming through. Now, it looks like you should probably try to run to the left first, but you actually don't need to. And I actually think I used an extra barricade there that I did not have to. Now, I didn't need to rush all the way up here to fight, and this is probably a bad idea, so don't do this. If possible, just hang down here and zap everything as it sort of rolls down the stairs. And then when these guys come around the corner, you kind of focus your fight right here. And that way, when they group up, your AoE abilities hit both of them, and you are pretty good. Part of the reason why you put your Guardian there is just to make sure that that corner is a bit more secure, but you really don't need to worry about it too much.
Boss minion has entered the battlefield.
For the last wave, you don't really need to summon anything else or pretty much do anything other than basically blow 2 before up. Remember to make use of your Wraith Surge if you're playing Oziel, just because it is super good at murdering bosses, any single targets really, and because all bosses are, that's great. Not necessarily mercs, but for now they don't have any multi-part bosses. Though I guess that would be something interesting that they still can add to the game. A boss that has multiple phases or splits into multiple enemies besides, or not necessarily multiple enemies, like splitting, because they have the, they have the Earth Lords or the Elemental Lords, Gaiden and the Fire Lord, but I mean one that's like kind of like the Eye Mage, where they're all active at once. That's what they don't have in a boss form. And I guess they can't, just because of the way bosses function. Like, I'm thinking about it now, and that could be a bad idea, because bosses are supposed to run into the rift and take points. You can do that with a mercenary because they don't really like attempt to destroy themselves to cause you harm. They're not running into the rift. Yeah, so that wouldn't work. It's one of those fridge logic situations. Until you actually think about it completely, doesn't make sense. All right, eat that.
Magic is more than a fool's drug.
More than a fool's drug? Does that mean magic is at least a fool's drug? Nice. All right, so that's 5 stars for your own devices with Oziel. Really doesn't feel too different than he did in the past, although, what? Oh, you know what? I think I know why that happens now. That's a bug that I've heard about and somebody else reported. I think Oziel's soul stacks are treated the same as Deadeye's infamy stacks for that achievement. So playing with either of the characters and having that take place will get you the achievement. So if the devs haven't figured that one out, I'm gonna, basically toss my inference to them and see if they can get that fixed. All right, so let's go ahead and pop open the chests and see what we have. It looks like I got a message as well. I'll open it up after the video's done. All right, getting a lot of rares. Indeed, and I can upgrade the icicle impaler, which is nice. Okay. So I still have to go through this with Midnight and Smolder. Nothing has really changed much with them at all. So I think their playthrough on the channel previously probably still works. Although I may do it again just because my audio setup's a bit better now. Either way, let me know what you guys think about this particular challenge. Are you having any difficulties with it? Just what you'd like to see as far as challenges in the future. Because that's always good stuff to talk about. I'm interested always in seeing whether or not the devs come up with challenges that sort of push new ideas into the game. Because, like, while some of these challenges are repeating now, when they were first introduced, because of the way that the mechanics were in the game, they basically functioned a little bit differently. So, seeing them pop up after a few of the heroes have changed or some other thing has taken place usually is interesting. Also, just with the way that things have been going, usually if there's no new weekly challenge, that means that the devs are trying to polish up updates to the game and have prioritized those over creating like a new challenge, like mini map sort of level situation. So that's also interesting because, more than likely what we have coming up in the near future is updates for Brass. And other than that, just because she was the most recently released character, I have no idea what else is coming. So I don't know. I'm excited for 2018. Let's see what we get in Orcs then. But I'm rambling now, so it's a good time to end the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As always, I sincerely appreciate you for tuning in. If you learned something, that's great as well. And as always, have a good one, folks.